Brother Mast joining us now. How are you doing, Brian?
I am doing well. It's a good day. Always happy to see one of our pieces of legislation move to the floor of the House of Representatives, be voted on, and pass.
And is today the day?
Today is the day. We'll be voting on the South Florida Clean Coastal Waters Act. We've been working on it for several years, and it takes specifically a program that focuses on toxic algal blooms, something we're very familiar with in Florida. And right now the program focuses on them in the Great Lakes, and it moves that focus down to South Florida, where we have the most, you could argue, the most devastating algal blooms anywhere in the country right now. And we're going to be very happy to see that emphasis for fixing these problems move to Florida.
And to that end, I mean, this has been long part of the challenge in making the progress that needs to be made here. We have so many constituencies that have to come together, the local governments, the state government, the federal government, and the federal piece in particular, of course, has been a point of focus for a while now. The ongoing challenges with the Army Corps of Engineers and discharges and the like, and also the feds and whether they've been upholding their bargain with our waterways. I was curious to get your thoughts. We just ended up having the lawsuit filed yesterday by the Center for Biological Diversity, the Defenders of Wildlife, the Save the Manatee Club, aimed at the EPA and U.S. Fish and Wildlife over what they're claiming is dereliction of duty in maintaining our waterways and their responsibility to it. Does your legislation kind of tie into that effort as well?
It ties in, I think, in a certain way. We're focused in the House of Representatives in the federal sphere, right? And specifically, that's why I do so much work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, because sitting on the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, the Corps of Engineers is the bread and butter federal agency of who we work with. The Corps of Engineers is the agency that controls Lake Okeechobee, pulling the lever, deciding where that water's going to go, whether it's going to go to the St. Lucie or the Caloosahatchee on Florida's west coast or down to the Everglades. And this specific program, the Clean Coastal Waters Act and that program, it would take the algal bloom study and prep and focus to fix that problem that's existed in the Great Lakes region, like Lake Erie, where they've had terrible algal blooms for many years. And it brings all of those agencies that work together, not just Corps of Engineers, but also NOAA and other agencies, brings them together to actually work on Florida's water program. And to have that emphasis put on it, it shines a light on what the problems are, and it makes those agencies come up with solutions and implement those solutions to actually fix the problem, which is something that we do on a number of different fronts with the Corps of Engineers, with their management, with different infrastructure. But this is just another one of those places that we get to make a dent.
So I want to offer this up and see if this is an accurate assessment of the situation. By and large, the pressure has been us at the Army Corps, and the us being many in the community, state government, you, and Senator Rubio in particular, who's been a real help in the Senate as well on this. And it's been pretty much left there. In other words, the other federal agencies have not really felt the same level of pressure or attention that perhaps has been applied to the Army Corps, and this would end up having kind of that next level with the other federal agencies that play a key role in this.
In addition to the Army Corps, one of the big ones, certainly NOAA, right? I want to say it loops in about 13 federal agencies into this specifically to deal with this issue. And that's a big deal to have all of that focus on this issue specifically for our area, when we're really the epicenter in Florida of these toxic algal blooms. They occur year after year. They don't need to, but then they certainly don't need to be sent from the freshwater basin that they're in of Lake Okeechobee out to our saltwater coastal estuaries, where they have absolutely no business being, destroying the manatee food source, all of the seagrasses out there when they release these waters and these algal blooms, toxic making the water toxic, too toxic for people to be in, killing wildlife, birds, you name it. The list goes on and on. We need that focus on it to continue to move the ball of this fight for South Florida. That fight has not been stagnant. Since I've been in office, we keep moving it. This is just another way to move it with, as you mentioned, a number of agencies, not just the Corps, but like about 13 agencies I would liken this to.